Hey, hopefully this is working this time. It looks like I'm actually getting sound. I can actually see it this time. Hey, YouTube really sucks. The fact that they just straight up hide the ability to change your microphone is really horrible. It's really bad. So sorry I had to restart the entire stream. Blame YouTube and their really terrible backend for live streaming because it's really bad. Hope everyone's doing good. I'm a little frazzled because I hate having to deal with freaking tech issues like that. It's a real problem for me. I put the effort into like set everything up and do it, and I hate it when tech just doesn't do what it's supposed to do. Like you would think a company like Google would be better at this. We hear you, man. What's up, Sven? I don't have access to any of the chat that you guys sent last time. Glad you guys are here though. So, yeah, I was trying to talk to freaking Gemini to be like, hey, how do I fix this? And Gemini's like, well, your tags are blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, you're at the same company. You should know how to do this. This is stupid. The fact that I couldn't even figure it out with Gemini, like, it's pretty rough. Yeah, tech issues. It is. What's up, Soul Drake Iceland? Interesting name. I don't think I've ever seen you in here before, but that's cool. Mitch, what time is it your place? It is 6:30. 6:40 now because I lost 10 minutes thanks to freaking YouTube. I was trying to set this up all fast and be efficient, and God, YouTube, man. I had a D&D game yesterday and that kind of messed with my mic there on Discord, so I had to like replug it in and all that, and because of that screwed up my mic for my live stream today because YouTube be a pain. Dinner time, kind of. I haven't been awake that long. I'm a bit of a night owl, so this is like this is fairly early for me. It is like 6:30 in the afternoon or in the evening, but like I don't know. I haven't had dinner yet. I'm gonna have it sometime after this. Like I woke up at like 1 p.m. and I took a couple of naps since then, so I was pretty tired when I woke up. I wake up. I go to bed pretty late, so yeah, this is still early in the day for me. But yeah, I had a D&D game yesterday, and trying to use my mic for that screwed everything up for my stream, and that's most likely what caused the issue. And yeah, I'm pretty new to your channel. It's all good. So Soul Drake Iceland. It's a bit of a long name, but it's easy enough to read, surprisingly. I discovered you trying to teach myself 3.5e. Nice. You're a great help with stuff like level adjustment. I still don't 100% get it, though. I need to learn it for my game. Gotcha. Me, no, I'm in the U.S. It's like 6:30 p.m. I don't know why you think Aussie. I don't know where you're at, but yeah, most people, I guess, are probably having dinner, but not me. It's like morning for me. And I have a feeling Soul Drake Iceland is not an Aussie. I get the feeling they're from Iceland. I don't know. That's just my guess. I don't know who you're talking about. But I would guess they're from Iceland on account of that's in their name. Sorry, that's the opposite. Yeah. All good. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I mean, you do have a country in your name, which makes me think that's probably where you live. But doesn't mean anything for sure. But yeah, level adjustments are an interesting one. They're a bit confusing. So if you just have level adjustments, it's not too bad. Basically, you just add the level adjustment to whatever class levels you have, and that's your effective character level. Because of that, though, you're not going to be getting feats and skills and health and ability points at the same time as everybody else, because all those level adjustments are basically putting you behind. So say you're a Goliath, right, with one level adjustment, you're going to have one less hit. You're going to roll for health one less time than everybody else because you have that level adjustment. You're going to have less skill points than everybody else. Your max skill ranks are going to be one lower than everybody's. You're going to get your feats one level later. You're going to get your ability points one level later because that level adjustment doesn't count for that. So, if you're a Goliath with 3 levels of fighter, okay, well, you just got your first feat, but you don't get your next ability point until next level. Whereas everyone else got there, and the party will have got their feat the level before and are getting their ability point now. So, you're going to be a little behind. It's even more complex when you have racial hit dice. That gets a little bit more confusing, but yeah. You hear PG, not nice. Let's see. One of my players wants to play a true dragon. Okay, that's going to be tricky. Very, very, very tricky. So I had to order Draconomicon and a bunch of other stuff, and I'm trying to wrap my head around it. It's rough. Gotcha. Playing true dragons can be tough because there's a lot of hit dice. There's a lot of racial hit dice, and there's a lot of level adjustments. I haven't looked into doing it too seriously in a while, just because the practicality in it that I've seen is, it's really just not practical. There's only a handful of dragons that are kind of even marked as playable in the player's handbook, or not the players, in the monster manual. It's a bit tricky. I hear you. It's 8:45 p.m. here. Then hi Solar, and Isimo flew from the U.S. to New Zealand. To New Zealand, departed on the 11th and arrived the 13th. Interesting. You flew from the U.S. to New Zealand. Dang it. That's crazy. And you just completely lost today. Dang. That does kind of make sense. Decently long flight. And, yeah, they are kind of almost an entire day ahead of us. So, you would have had to have left late the 11th and got in early the 13th for that to make sense. But, it is possible, 100%. My first character in our adventure was married to a bronze dragon. That's interesting. That's definitely can be done. Let me grab my monster manual real quick. So I'll kind of explain it with a true dragon there, because there are a couple that are listed as being possible to play as. I don't recommend it though. Dragons are they're strong, but you get so many level adjustments and racial hit dice that I generally think it's probably not worth it. Let's see, I'm on Silver Dragon, just the first one that popped up. Let's see if they even give me anything. All right, so let's say you want to be a Wormling Silver Dragon. Fairly powerful one. So they have 4 level adjustments, and they also have 8 to 9 hit dice. Racial hit dice. So generally you'd want to go with the lower one because that makes it less bad, which 4 and 8 is 12. And 12 hit dice is, it's a lot. 12 effective levels is a lot. So basically, you would have to spend your first 12 levels just becoming a Wormling. You'd have 8 levels of where you get dragon hit dice, which would get you feats and abilities and stuff. And then you get 4 levels where you're not really getting, you're getting stuff, but then you get abilities. It's kind of listed how to do it in the Savage Species. They don't have any with dragons, but if you wanted to do a silver dragon, if you want to do a silver dragon Wormling, you would basically want to do something where every at second level and every 3 levels thereafter for the period of 12 levels. They don't get a hit dice, but that's when they gain, various things that they get, like higher strength, higher intelligence, things like that. Or not to, well, more charisma than intelligence, but yeah, they'd be getting like these stat bonuses and probably size bonuses too, because even a wormling is, well, they're small, so I guess maybe not, but yeah, it's level adjustment plus racial hit dice equals ECL, 100%. Plus character plus class level as well, but yeah, um, but that's after, Let's see. I also do dungeon mastering as a job, so your help is really appreciated. Nice. I'm looking into doing that myself. I haven't done dungeon mastering as a job, but I'm very much looking into it because I could use the money, and this channel doesn't pay anywhere near enough. It does pay, but I'm way too small to be making anywhere close to a living. So, yeah, I could probably make, I would easily make more in one session. What you charge one person for one session is probably pretty close to what I make in a month. So, yeah, on here. Let's see. I think she wanted to play Gold or Green Dragon. Gotcha. Well, it's going to be the same principle. Basically, some levels you're going to get stuff, some you're not. I would honestly heavily steer them against playing as a dragon because it's not good. It's really not a strong option. They're going to be like a lot of levels behind. Like with silver, you're 12 behind. With gold, it's going to be even more. With green, it's not going to be as much, but it's still going to be a lot. So I would really steer them away from that. Maybe steer them towards half dragon, which is going to be less of an issue. LA2 receives experience as if they are 2 levels higher. Kind of, except for it's not so much that they receive it as if they're 2 levels higher. It's more they're going to be in the party. They're going to be in a party that's 2 levels lower than them. That's 2 levels higher than them. So yeah, how would that even look like on a character sheet? He's half orc with dragon marks. What VTT do you DM on Solar Image? I don't yet. I'm looking into maybe using Foundry, but I haven't looked into it too much yet. I haven't purchased it or anything. I don't have the money, so it'd be an investment. So I'd have to really think about it before I went and made that decision. But yeah, that is what I'm thinking. Also, there's right now I've mostly done my DMing on Roll20, just using the free stuff. It works. It's not the highest quality, but it does work. I mostly run sessions in person, but I also use Roll20 with Discord for VC. Yeah, I've done that in the past as well. Discord for VC, and then run Roll20. That's how I've done it with friends. Did that for a few years. Did a big, huge dungeon crawl with that. So that was fun. Yeah. But yeah, I would really recommend trying to push them away from playing a true dragon. It's not really worth it. They're not good for voice chat. J-Dot. Also could be video chat, but mostly means voice chat. DMing in Iceland pays really good, but I got no idea what it's like in the U.S. I have no idea. I haven't done it yet. I've heard I've heard like $15 to $20 a session, a person a session. Decent money, not amazing, but that's what I've heard for entry. I haven't, like I said, I haven't really started it yet. Something I'm thought about, but I've been a little bit scared to. I've been a little scared to start, if I'm being real. So yeah, what I would recommend is trying to lean more towards half dragon. It's just better. Like for real. Yeah. Let's see. It's only a what? I think it's decent amount of point increases, and it's what only only three level adjustment, which is a decent amount. I'm not gonna lie, three is pretty high, but it's way better than having to deal with that plus all these racial hit dice. Like Half Dragon is a much better option. Let me consult the calculator. Puts on nerd classes. Matt Mercer / Critical Role just made 14 million. Yes, I'm aware that they'll do that, but I'm not Matthew Mercer, and this channel is not Critical Role. I wish I was making anywhere near what they are, but I'm not. So yeah, and I'm pretty sure Brennan Lee Mulligan with Dimension 20 is also making quite a bit, but I'm not. Am I thinking of maybe streaming online and on Twitch and like doing a game on there? Yeah, I thought about it and thinking about it more and more. I just need to get a group that'd be willing to sit down and play and basically let me monetize their likeness while I run the game. That's basically what I'd be asking for if I were to do it. Is it's like, hey, you can play, it's free, but like this is going to be on Twitch and I'm going to make all the money and you're not going to see anything from it, but you can play if you want. That's kind of going to be the deal I set up if I do it. I don't know if anyone will actually agree to that. I don't know if I got that kind of clout. So I don't know. Also, I have to make sure that like the people that I wouldn't just get people, but like people that are good people. Like not everyone's going to be the best fit for a game. So yeah. Professor DM. I still don't know who Professor DM. I've looked him up, but I don't really know him. Professor just made $1 million today with his Deathbringer game. That's cool. I literally have no idea who this guy is. I've looked him up. He seems cool. I didn't look him up that much, but yeah. In Iceland, you'd make roughly $3,000 a month. That's not bad. Livable. Way more than what I've made at previous jobs like fast food, which doesn't make anywhere near $3,000 a month. I was lucky to make $2,000 if I like really grind. If I was really grinding, I'd be lucky to make $2,000. So yeah, Matt paid his friends after a while. Yeah, and I mean, I probably would pay people after a while as well, but like, first starting, it's going to be like, yeah, the deal's going to be you can play, but I get the money. Like, yeah, and the reason why you start paying your friends after a while is, you're going for higher quality players. When you're just trying to get people who are decent, because you don't have the budget, then yeah, free is what I can afford right now. $3,000 US. That's $3,000. I haven't been able to make $3,000 US. Nah, I haven't been. I've had maybe one job that I was making more than that, but not much. It's pretty hard to hit. I've struggled. Yeah, 3,000 US. He offered them a slice of the pie. That's fair enough. I'm just saying I'm small time, which is why I can't really afford to do that. And I don't really have the logistics are just, I don't know. It's what I make is so small time. It's not even worth setting something like that up, which is why, I'm not expecting much, which is why I haven't set it up because yeah. And yeah, if I was making freaking millions, yeah, I'd probably set something up, but I'm making like $12. I'm making like $10 to $20 a month. It's not a lot. So yeah, with this very, very small amounts of money that I'm making, I gotta say I'm not, and also I just saw you join the Discord, Solar Drake Iceland. I gotta turn my that beep was the freaking notification. I gotta turn that off. There we go. Anywho, yeah. So, I think they all did it for free for 5 years. Yeah, they might, and that very well would be the case. I don't know. I don't know what system I do. I haven't set anything up. My point is, I'm making jack crap right now, and I need to try and before I think about like hiring a crew and paying people, I need to figure out how to make at least 3K a month so that I can pay my own bills. You know what I mean? And then once I'm starting to make that, then I can start looking into hiring some people because I actually can afford to live without like having to rely on social safety nets. That's been what do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? Right now, this I've been struggling with work, so I've been having my parents help me out a lot. I've worked fast food for a while. I worked at a drive-through not too long ago, so yeah, I've been struggling a lot with mental health and stuff because disability. So yeah, and this does not pay anywhere near enough. I put a lot of time and effort into this channel, and it hasn't really paid much yet. What degree? My degree is in electrical engineering, but I haven't found anything with it yet. I've tried. It's difficult. I've got autism and ADHD, and it makes job hunting really difficult, especially seeing as I'm 38 and this is 2026. Trying to figure out how to do all these online applications. Yeah, no, thank you. That's an absolute headache for me. So you got this, buddy. I got your back. Appreciate it, man. But yeah, it's been an absolute. So yeah, I really need job like. I need a job like. Actually, I have a second degree in entrepreneurship, but I need a job that like uses something like that, something where, I don't have to report to somebody who, doesn't really understand me. That I tend to have issues when I have bosses. When I have bosses that I don't like, that becomes a much bigger problem for me than it does for most people. Like that's a real serious issue, and I tend not to last very long when I have issues with my boss. If I get along with my boss, that's great. But if there's if me and my boss have issues, I tend to not last long. That's unfortunately the reality with me. So it sucks. Have you looked at data center development? A little bit. Well, not development, but I worked at a data center once for like 2 months. I worked not directly for NVIDIA, but for I was subcontracted. I like NVIDIA subcontracted another like a recruiting company. And I worked for them for like 2 months. That did not go well. I absolutely hated that job. Yeah, so that was a thing. I haven't looked into development. I don't know how much that would help. That's not really what it is that I'm going for. Benefits and I'm in. Let's see, benefits, and I'm an intern at a museum on Salt. Not sure what that. I have no idea what that last part means, but okay, that sounds cool. I don't have. Yeah, I haven't had many jobs with benefits, or yeah, I'm not sure if I've had any jobs that gave benefits, or engineering computer setups for hospitals. It's not quite like that. That's not really what it is. It's more PCBs, printed circuit board design. So like making boards that can do things. I'm really rusty at it though. I got my degree in like 2020. So yeah, cool, Sven. Completely understandable. Electrical engineers are getting $200K in Texas for setting up data centers. That is a lot of money, and that's even more than I thought electrical engineers made. But I've been struggling. I've been struggling hard to find work. I haven't even bothered looking in the last few years because after just multiple rounds of high, like after multiple round, like I put my resume out there, and all I get is like, hey, do you want to come work in the assemble batteries? I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like for like $15 an hour. I'm like, no, I don't. So yeah, I haven't found anything that actually works with my degree. I've been struggling to figure out how to find these jobs. And it's a massive frustration for me. I kind of gave up, if I'm being honest. That's why I'm here on YouTube trying to grind on here, because I don't know, trying to make it work out in the real world has failed me spectacularly. So that sucked. But yeah. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'm just I don't know. I'm figuring it out. But yeah, to what you were saying earlier about the half dragons, definitely going to be a much better bet, because then you just have to worry about 3-level adjustments versus playing as a full dragon is going to be an absolute nightmare. I'm in flooring sales. Nice. I've thought about getting into sales. That is something I've looked at, because I mean, I've got a lot of experience working retail and working fast food. And unfortunately, because of that, whenever I put my resume out there, those are the only jobs that ever come after me. Like recruiters, they just see that and it's like, let's get them for that. It's like, I don't want to do that anymore. I got my degree in electrical engineering now. Could you give me a job that works with that? They're like, nah, you're not giving you that. And it kind of sucks. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, so that's a frustration for me. Yeah, the half dragon is likely better fit, but I don't mind doing the math as long as she knows the issues. Yeah, that's awesome, and I'd be the same. Just be like, hey, there's going to be some issues. You're probably not going to be very strong, because you're going to be like, it's going to take you 12 levels of dragon just to become a wormling silver dragon. So, or like it's probably like 13 or 14 for a gold. I don't know, maybe like 8 for a green. But, it's still a lot of levels, whereas it's only 3 for a half dragon. Much, much better option. The flying speed alone is going to be a huge power boost, to be honest. It is, but you wouldn't give that right away. That would be one of the things that you would give during the levels that they don't get a hit dice. So how it works, let me grab the savage species. That'll help me show you what I'm talking about. Where's my savage species book? Because that's the book that really shows how it works when you're playing as a monster race. And yeah, here we go. It's technically a 3.0 book, but 3.0 is completely fine in 3.5. It just takes you have to finesse things a little bit for the most part. And if the same thing exists in 3.5, generally the 3.5 version trumps it. But otherwise, yeah, you'll open it up too. Yeah, let's see. 7.0 then make flake salt the way people did from year 1110 to 1050, where they had burned all the trees on the island called about 2 miles from where I live. There's a salt factory. Interesting. Open it up too. The level adjustment +4 and 8 RHD. You take your first class level at level 9 and level up slow at 11. So, no, that's not quite how that works. Yeah, like you say, it's that. So you wouldn't start leveling up to level 13. But yeah, if there's 12 levels, so this is just a scale 4, just whatever, just what's happened to be pulled up first. So as you can see, where does it show? Does this one have full hit dice? This one might not be the best one, actually. I'm not sure it has any hit dice. Oh, no, I'm not sure it has any level adjustment. This one might just be pure hit dice. So that's a bit of an issue. Let me find one that's maybe a little bit better. I'm just pulling up stuff from the book at random, basically, to try and give an example of what we're looking at. Yeah, so if you look at the ogre mage here, all right. So if you look at the ogre mage, see how it has like some levels have hit dice for focus again. It did for like a second, but like how it says 1d8, 2d8, 2d8. See where it doesn't go up? That means you didn't gain a hit dice that level, and basically you're not gaining any more health. You're not gaining any skills. You're not making progress towards a new feat or towards all that other stuff, or towards an ability point. But usually those levels where you're not gaining the hit dice, you gain more like class racial features. So that's when you get most of your like bonuses to your strength score, just like the flat bonuses to that, which go higher. So you're not making progress towards your ability point every 4 levels, but a lot of the time you get specific ability point increases with these. That's just how they work. And that's also when you tend to get like the really good features like fly and stuff like that. So you'd have to probably design it yourself if you can't find it out there somewhere. But basically, you want to make it so that the levels where they're not getting racial hit dice increases, those are the ones that you're going to get a lot of the other better stuff. Whereas the ones where the racial hit dice does go up, those ones aren't going to get as many good things. So, yeah. I'll open page 83. Sorry, wrong. The LA +4 RHD 8. You take your 1 level class at level 9. Nope. But level up as if you're 12th level going in. I mean, kind of. And the third. That's not quite how it works, J-Not. So how it works is you would take it at 13. Level adjustment doesn't mean that everyone's getting. It's not just everyone's getting more experience. You are those levels behind. So, like, if it's a 10th level game and you just if you're just a half dragon, you would get 7 class levels and then you'd have your 3 hit dice. You're getting the same amount of experience as everyone else, but you have 3 less but you are 3 levels behind them because you're a little bit stronger in other ways. It's not that you're just getting less experience. It's that your level's back behind. Yeah. Now, when you buy off class levels, which is a whole process, and generally a good thing to do, then you tend to end up behind and getting more experience, which helps you catch up. But no, usually you're going to be just levels behind. The only time you would start like that is if the game starts at level 1, and then there's just, you have to have a class level. You can't just, start at level -2 or something, or level 0. So, you have to have a class level to start play. So, yeah. Let's see. They are the 3rd largest producer of medical salt for drops typically in the world, and they aim to become the largest. That's pretty cool. I didn't even know medical salt was a thing. So that's pretty cool. Interesting. I'll have to talk with her about it and see what she's willing to do, depending on the character lore. I can just give her the abilities. I'm pretty easygoing, but thank you. Very noted. Yeah, glad I could help. One thing you can do if you are going to have her play, like if she is going to play as a dragon, likely she'd be playing as a wormling, which would be a baby. You could even, if she wanted to go that route, which I still think is a bad idea. Her backstory could be she's an egg, and the party is getting together. They have this egg, and as the first session, they're getting around figuring out what they're going to do with the egg. Like, I don't know, maybe they have this quest to deliver it. All of a sudden, the egg starts cracking. Everyone's like freaking out or whatever, and next thing you know, boom, the guy, her character just is there, just this baby dragon that's just like it's just born into the party. It's an option because that is what wormlings are. So yeah, and or perhaps because they're not, she won't be at full strength right away. Because like a wormling is a baby, it's like, well, maybe they have the egg and like they're at the bar and like suddenly the egg, it just cracks and they're like, oh crap, we broke the egg, we just failed the quest. And then like it turns out that the baby dragon inside was formed enough that it didn't die, and that's the character, a prematurely hatched baby dragon that's going to need some time to develop outside the egg to get its strength. An interesting idea. It's not the first time I've thought of this. I actually was considering playing a character like that in the past, long time ago. But yeah, becoming a second level fighter. For example, a human fighter who gains 3,000 experience reaches third level, becoming a third level fighter. However, a tiefling fighter reaches second level at 3,000. That is correct, but you would generally be a level back. Becoming second level fighter, assuming the human and tiefling party members always receive the same amount of experience. They will always level up at the same time, but the tiefling will always be one fighter level behind the human. Yeah, they'll be one level fighter level behind. So they'll start one level behind in terms of like levels of fighter. That's absolutely glorious. The hatchling idea. Yeah, I think, having her be born premature into the party, if she is going to be playing as a true dragon, that's a cool idea. Like, doesn't really have a backstory. She was in the egg and it broke before she was ready to be born, and now she's part of the party. Dragons are just that strong that a prematurely born dragon is on par with a level 1 adventurer, or even like a level 2 or 3 adventurer. So yeah, it's going to be several levels before she's like, even strength and can like, she's like got her strength back and can start like actually taking classes. So yeah, that's a thing. There's definitely some cool lore behind it, and if she wants to do that, that's cool. It is going to make her weaker as a character, although she will be able to use gear to like make up the difference, which is a thing. From the Green Dragon is level adjustment +5. Let me look it up. I imagine the green wormling is less level adjustment, but more HD. Let me look it up, because I need to know for sure. Green Dragon, level adjustment. Yeah, wormling is 5. Dang, it's even more than I thought. And 6 hit dice. So we're looking at 11. So it has less hit dice though. So more level adjustments. So yeah, that's the thing. If you wanted to go with the easiest one, that'd be the white, because that's just the weakest dragon. So I bet anything that they are the one with the lowest of all that stuff. Let's see. White dragon, 4 hit dice and 2 level adjustments. So with a white, they're only 6. So that's a lot less. So yeah, if you go with a white dragon, it's going to be easier. That's something I would definitely recommend if you're going to do it. Gold is going to be even more. Let's see what the actual numbers with gold are. 4 level adjustments, which isn't bad. Wow, and only 5 hit dice, so only 9 for a gold. That's crazy. Surprising that silver's more, but Yeah. Doesn't really feel like a +5. Fair enough. They probably get some kind of good abilities, like I don't know what does the green dragon get that might be what's causing that. Um, Green dragons by age, immunity to acid, water breathing. Water breathing is kind of nice. Um, yeah, the water breathing's probably a big part of it. Whereas, let's see, why do golds not get as much? Alternate form, that's huge. Immunity to fire, vulnerability to cold, also water breathing. Yeah, I don't know what. Oh, they have vulnerability, so that's part of that. That kind of makes it a little less. Whereas the green doesn't have any sort of vulnerability. The white, on the other hand, they're the weakest. They're getting what? Ice walking, immunity to cold, vulnerability to fire. So nothing too amazing. Just ice walking. Yeah, which is probably why they're kind of weak. Yeah, and then where does it show like what they would get? I'm not even sure what shows it. Medium dragon cold. So it shows some stuff like +4 initiative speed, burrow. Yeah, I don't know where it shows most of them they'll have like playing as a dragon, and then it'll like give the information on that. I'm not sure where that is with dragons, or if it's even anywhere. Looks like it's not anywhere, quite potentially. So that one is a little bit trickier. um, let's see. We have a Kobold member in our party, and she is like a dragon, and she's an NPC. Yeah, Kobold can actually be considered a true dragon. Like they are the type true dragon. Like you can easily have them. Just the dragon rot feat makes it so they're considered true dragons. And that's not any level adjustments or anything. So it's an option. They're not going to be anywhere near as strong as a dragon, obviously, but they are considered true dragons. Let's see, where am I at? There are options for DMs. Let's see. Well, it doesn't really feel like +5. There are options for DMs who want to start at first level, but allow level adjustments, races, give them all their benefits right away. Yeah, you would give them all the benefits right away if they don't have any racial hit dice. If they do, typically you would do the options of going through the how it's set up in Savage Species. You don't have to. You could just give them all the benefits, but doing it the method of Savage Species has some real advantages of like making them not overpowered to start, and it just kind of makes the game more fair. So that's very much a thing. Let's see, but they still start at 0 experience, yeah, and don't gain a level until they get enough to increase their ECL, i.e., first level character with a +2 adjustment. Yeah, so you wouldn't get like if you were to do the method like Jay Nott's talking about with the white dragon with its 12, you could just give them all the stuff of a wormling white dragon, or not white dragon, silver dragon with 12. But they wouldn't actually, and they'd also get, you probably give them one class level 2, but they wouldn't gain their next class level until they hit level 14, which is insane. They're going to, the party's going to be leveling up over and over and over again. Meanwhile, this guy's leveling up almost never, and they're also getting basically no experience for most of the early game. So they're not going to level up for a very long time. Everyone else is going to be like level 15 or 16 before they actually gaining that 14th level and are able to level up their first time. So that's one way to do it. I don't recommend it, but it's an option. A dragon sorcerer can't always level up as a sorcerer, but will have to advance as a dragon. Yes, and when and dragons are sorcerers, so when the dragon levels up, they gain levels in sorcerer. Not wormlings usually. Not even sure. I don't think even the gold dragon has. Let me double check. I'm like pretty much on it. Let's see. The gold dragon. Yeah, no. None of them have it at wormling. It's not till they get a little bit older that they actually get sorcerer caster levels. But dragons do gain levels of sorcerer as they get older, just automatically. It's just something that comes naturally to them. So yes, they will gain levels of that. It's only the casting part of it. They don't get the rest of the sorcerer stuff, but they do gain casting levels as a sorcerer as they get older, but not wormlings. So if you're, you probably won't have to worry about that unless like years and decades are passing. Then that will actually add even more like level adjustments and racial hit dice. So yeah, that gets even more complex. Let's see. They have enough XP to hit level 4. They start off more powerful, but don't advance until everyone else has caught up to them. Yeah, if they have that ECL +2, they would effectively start out at level 4, and until they're ready to hit level 5, they wouldn't level up. And if you start off with effectively 12 with racial hit dice and everything, it wouldn't be until they start off at 13 with 1 level, and it wouldn't be until they hit 14. And because they're technically level 13, like the early level stuff is not going to give any experience. It's not going to be until they get start fighting like CR8s and stuff that they actually gain any experience whatsoever. So it'll slow them down a lot. Stagger the benefits of the race over a few levels, basically forcing them to take monster levels until they have bought off the levels. It's kind of, yeah. Savage Species has rules for doing this. This is much more complicated, but ensures that everyone theoretically starts off on even footing. Yep. There's a great way in Savage Species. Then let them enter level 1 play with negative levels as a buy-off. Interesting. I didn't see that one. 14,000 experience, 14 equals 2 levels. Mitch is right. RHD is somewhat better. It is sometimes better, but it can't be bought off, which has problems. And it also depends on what RHD we're talking about. Now, we're talking about Dragon, which dragons actually have really good RHD. It's one of the best racial hit dice in the game. It's a D12, which is great. I believe it has a good base attack bonus. It has mostly, if not all, good saves. Like Dragon, well, actually, I don't think it has good reflex, but it has like good fort and will save. I think I'm not for sure, but it's one of the better ones for sure. But it's still generally going to be worse than if you weren't going a dragon. And honestly, you're probably going to want to not be a caster. In fact, you almost certainly won't want to be a caster. You're going to want to, take something like fighter or barbarian or, maybe ranger, which has a little bit of casting. Same with paladin. You're going to want a martial heavy character. Maybe grab something out of what is it? Book of Nine Swords. Tome of Battle. There we go. Grab something out of the Tome of Battles. Because, you're going to want some martial classes. Caster ones, you're just going to be so far behind. It's probably not worth it. Dragon and Guy. Gotcha. I'll take some notes. If I personally would play a dragon, I want to play a white dragon with barbarian class levels. That would be cool. And white dragon's only 6, so it's not too bad. Barbarian class levels, you're going to get You're not going to lose too much from it. One thing that you may want to note is as time passes, how many you're going to probably be forced. You might be forced to level up more as a dragon as time passes, and literal time passes and you age, making it so you can't level up as a barbarian as fast. Let's see. So like after 5 years, you become a very young. Then once you become 16, so at 6 years old, you become very young. 16, you'll become young. 26, you become a juvenile. 51, a young adult. It's all on page 68. And then at 1,201, you become a great worm. There's some, they start going up a lot slower. But yeah, as those happen, you'd have to, basically you'd gain more level adjustments and more racial hit dice as you age, which is going to slow down your progression, your levels. So that is a thing. But barbarian is probably your better bet, and 5 years is a long time. So most campaigns in game don't go anywhere near that long. At least not ones I've been in. So most campaigns go like a few months, maybe a year. I haven't been in any that go in multiple years, like in game time. In real world time, they've gone years, but I think 1 year is the longest I've seen them go in game time, because I don't know, time tends to pass a lot slower most of the time. You'll often spend weeks going through the same day in the game. So yeah. Because of usually huge strength adjustment. Yeah, dragons tend to have really good. They also have good charisma and int, which is counterintuitive for the barbarian. So might be better to go with something from Tome of Battle. But yeah, honestly fair. Prefer templates. Yeah, there are some good templates. So templates they're not races, but they're like in between races. Like the half dragon is a template. It's not a race. Basically, you pick a race and then you throw half dragon on top of it. And then that adds, basically it adds 3 hit dice, or it adds 3 level adjustment. Like half dragon is actually kind of decent to throw with like, a monster stuff. Like if you were to do like a giant half dragon, and then like throw some barbarian levels, it's not the worst thing in the world. It makes your giant racial hit dice all higher level. They all go up 1 step, and then on top of that, you gain other benefits for having the giant hit dice. So it's not bad. Things like half dragon and half fiend actually kind of work well with other RHD races, but at the same time, you really need to be pairing it with like a barbarian or a fighter or something if you're going to do it. Only +1 level adjustment. Nice. Which one's +1 level adjustment? There's a lot of them, like Goliath's is a +1 level adjustment, which is one of the better ones. Half Minotaur from Dragon Magazine. Feral is awesome. So is the Dark template for Rogue. I've heard of a few of those. You can have multiple templates. Yes, you can, but not all of them are compatible with each other. You can't have multiple lycanthropes, I don't believe. Like you can't be a werebear and a werewolf. Only one is valid. The lycanthropy, virus that infects you, it's only able to hit you with one type of animal at a time. Like if you try and get hit with both, one will end up being dominant and overpower the other. A Draconic creature template. Yeah, I actually have a video on that one. That's one of the few templates that I actually do have a video on. Yeah, that is an option on that. Okay, then I have another question regarding ability score increase. When doing a dragon, what do you get? Like a plus what or a minus what to strength, dex, con, int, wisdom, charisma? I didn't notice any of them on them. Okay, that is the trick, because it's not obvious. So let's go through it. So you kind of have to do it manually. So like, let's look at the white dragon. So we're seeing it's showing 11 strength, 10 dex, 13 con, 6 int, 11 wisdom, 6 charisma. It's like, okay, so those are the base stats for the wormling. And then you'd have to like try and find something like, you'd have to try and find another comparable. You'd have to try and find something like, I don't know, half elf, right? And you look at what they get and just kind of compare across the board. Because I think the half elf, it gets not much in terms of, I think they're flat zeros. Let's see, Draconic creature is +1. Yeah, I'm playing a crazy multi-template character right now. Interesting. A Draconic character template is only level 1 and gets ability increase from base creature, as well as strength +2, charisma +2. That's pretty good for only 1 bonus. Actually, that's really good. Change. Okay. It's halfling. Is half elf even listed? Probably not. It's probably under elf. Oh, we've got halfling right here. So if you look at the halfling, you can see that as monsters, they have what, 11 strength, 13 dex, 13 con in. So you can kind of like look at the block comparison, and then you just kind of look at the base block comparison. You just basically you have to kind of figure it out. Unfortunately, actually, scratch that. I think, could be wrong. I think Savage Species might actually have you covered. I think it might actually have them in there. Let me look. Weapon size, prestige classes, no. Campaigns, advancing a monster, becoming a monster. Because I think there might be like, I know I found one somewhere for one of them. I don't know where it was, but I made one for a gold dragon ages ago. Like ages and ages and ages. Oh, yeah, it even has multiple templates. There's a whole section of that, 142, like you were just talking. Monsters. I'm just going to see if I can find the dragon or any kind of dragon. Actually, is it in the little table of contents in the back? It might be. Let's see. Those are animals, monsters. Yeah. Devil, demon, centaur, doppelganger, celestial. Seeing if I can find it. Sorry. I know I've seen it somewhere, but I don't remember where, because it's been like, it's been such a long time since I've seen it. Or, here we are, dragons. Cool. Found it. Table A56, page 212. Found it. There we go. So, yeah, here's where you're going to want to look. Page 212, 213. You actually have to flip the book like this. But there we go right there. There's all the info on that. Yeah, so there is info on it. So that's where you're going to look. Sweet. I knew there was something somewhere. John Connor character template. Yeah. That's a lot. Take your time. Yeah, it took me a minute, but I found it. So, yeah. Yeah, it just gives you the hit dice, level adjustment, starting ECL, and it hits you like with each one. So like, oh, okay, and it says your nap points, and then you kind of like have to. It doesn't give you the full table, unfortunately, but at least I don't think it does anywhere. Like I don't think there's just like a full like breakdown of it, but it does give you the various benchmarks. So for like, yeah, yeah, it just gives you all the info, and then it'll tell you what all the points are. So like for the white, let's see, what does it say? Black, blue, green, red, white. So for a Wormling white, they start out as tiny, level adjustment 2, so 5. So they get no extra strength, no extra dex, 2 extra con, -4 to int, no extra wisdom, -4 to charisma. Dang, that's bad. But they get +3 baby. They get like 3s across the board. 6 + 10 × 5. Yeah, they're not very good. They get a lot of minuses, not gonna lie. That kind of sucks. Let's see. Whereas like a silver, looks like they get for wormlings 2 strength, 2 con, 4 int, 4 wisdom, 4 charisma. Yeah. So, okay. Lesser ASMR. Yeah, Lesser ASMR is another really good one. I'm a dragon, Lesser ASMR magic. Jeez, man. You're crazy, man. You're crazy. I mean, I know some of them are not are really low level adjustments. Magic was tested level adjustment +0. Yeah, charisma +2 charisma, -2 wisdom. Lesser ASMR is not giving level adjustment. It doesn't have one. Lesser ASMR does not have a level adjustment. The regular ASMR does, but the lesser one does not. So yeah, note to self: order Savage Species. It's a good book. It's 3.0, but it is a very good book. Yeah, especially if you want to be playing as monsters. Like if you're playing as monster races, Savage Species is like the book for playing as monsters. Yeah, and that's basically the whole point of it, and it's really the only one out there that really talks about that. Yeah, most people don't play as monsters. Now, some monsters are easy, like a number of monsters don't have level adjustments. You want to play as a goblin? Cool. No level adjustment, no racial hit dice. You can just play as a goblin as a race. No problemo. Same with an orc. I think a lizard folk might be a +1, but like most of like the trash mobs that you end like you fight at low levels, most of them are, or a lot of them are like no level adjustments. Some of them have some small ones, but most of them don't. You can be a full orc. That's that's not a level adjustment. +4 to strength, -2 to intelligence, charisma, and wisdom. Plus you get light sensitivity, and yeah, so they're a fun one. But yeah, they have their downsides, but it is what it is. I played them before. Orc's actually a pretty decent race to play as for a barbarian. Full orc barbarian works pretty well. Yeah, that extra strength Goliath is a great one. That one's in Races of Stone, +1 level adjustment, but one of the better +1 level adjustment races out there. Light sensitivity, the bane of my kobold existence. Yeah, light sensitivity can be a problem. You can only kind of, it's kind of hard for you to adventure during the day. Kind of have to focus on only adventuring at night. You can still dungeon crawl just fine, but going out during the day is a bit of an issue. You might have to like wear hoods and cloaks or whatever. Paladin starting charisma use 24 at level 1. Yes, so if you have if you have a crazy high charisma, yeah, paladin can be great. Um, Typically, I'd only do like, I don't know, 2 levels of paladin, maybe 3 levels of hexblade, maybe take 2 levels of blackguard, especially if I'm like, if it's a paladin of tyranny or slaughter or one of the other evil paladins. Um, you know, yeah, it can be very, very powerful if you do that. There's some sort of mundane magic item like sun dark goggles or something like that. Yeah, there are ways to do that that kind of you can mitigate the light sensitivity without too much effort. Now, at level 1, you're going to struggle because, yeah, like Trident saying, there are uh, uh, mundane magical items, which it's not it can't be mundane and magical. Mundane means non-magical, but I get what you're going for with that. A cheap magical item, like a magical item that was cast by like some first level caster with like a 0 level spell or something. That or like a first level spell. Yeah, that's what you mean. It's still a magic item, but it's made by some apprentice freaking craftsman who's like level 1. Man, it's already 3 a.m. Dang, that's crazy. That is late. To me, that's actually late for me. 3 a.m. means I should. That's when I start heading winding down for bed. Uh, yeah. You got it. Cheap stuff. Exactly. But that is still going to be very expensive if you're level 1. So if you're starting the game at level 1 as an orc, it is going to be difficult for the first couple of levels until you can afford to buy, those goggles. Now, it's only going to be the first couple of levels, and it's not going to be that big a deal for very long, but it is going to be a problem for a little bit. But it's something that can be fun to play around. Personally, I enjoy having a giant flaw like that, and even late in the game, what if someone comes up and pulls your goggles off and steals them? Now all of a sudden you're sensitive to light again. It could happen. Gestalt character. Gestalt can be fun. Paladin, Vassal of Bahamut, Archivist with Defined Bit of Magic, an extra turning with the Advanced Nightstick. Okay, you got some crazy shenanigans going on, I see there. Plus Gestalt, like, dang. I see what you're doing. Not going as crazy with stuff as you could. I mean, I certainly would be, especially if I was evil, especially if I was an evil paladin, doing some charisma boosting and trying to get charisma to all my saves multiple different ways, which is why I like to say you go paladin, blackguard, and what's the other one? Hexblade. By doing all 3 of those, you get triple charisma to all your saves. Double for most things, triple against spells, and then you also get metal from Hexblade, and you can grab like a ring of evasion to get evasion, and then basically you just don't have to worry about saves unless you roll in that one. Which there's ways to kind of mitigate that a little bit. Fully mitigating it is very difficult and really not worth it. Vassal of Bahamut gets rich fast via all magic items. Interesting. But yeah, I should start winding down for bed myself. Yeah, that's fair. Thanks for the help. I'll stay in touch on the Discord if I have further questions. You might be me in the voice chats lurking. All right, fair enough. It's fair enough, man. Yeah, I'm just right now I'm just streaming, but yeah, that's cool. Thanks for joining the Discord and for stopping by. Have a good night, man. Definitely appreciated having you here. But yeah, Vassal of Bahamut, I haven't looked at that one too much, but it makes sense. Yeah, there's definitely some really cool stuff that you can do in D&D 3.5. Like that's one of the things I love about it is you can like what you can do without even having to work with your DM too much about like creating new homebrew stuff, which is an option. You can absolutely work with your DM to homebrew stuff. Well, depending on your DM, some DMs are going to be like, no, no homebrew. I will not help you with anything. But others, like, and a lot of DMs are cool and be like, yeah, we can work with stuff, but some are going to be stricter than others. But even without that, like, you can get some pretty cool stuff, and like, there's just so much out there. Good night, guys. Have a Texas day/night. Yeah. Let's see. I'm off. Take care later. Yeah, later, Sven. Looks like I'm losing the European crowd, which not surprised. I don't know if Sven's European or not. Sounds European, but I don't freaking know. Vassal of Bahamut gets crazy free platinum and gets crazy free armor and does vile uncurable damage to evil Ooh, nice. By Sven. Yeah, that sounds really cool. So yeah, it's not vile. It's what golden ice or something like that. I think because I know the exalted version is like it's like holy ice or something. Like they have their own versions. It is not vile. It's got its whole name, and I know Vassal of Bahamut is from Book of Exalted Deeds. I don't know it that well, but I have seen it. I know where it's at, like I know for I'm like 99% sure it's in Book of Exalted Deeds. So yeah. Dragon Rack. Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't know exactly which one, but I know, like, I knew it wasn't, vile. Like you put vile in quotes because it's not vile. It's just like the same kind of deal. But yeah, obviously it won't be vile because it's good, and therefore it's not vile. Vile is evil. But there are various good versions of it, like Dragon Rack, and I think there's like holy ice or something, and or like silver ice. I forget what it's called, but yeah, I know there's something like that. I forget the exact name, but yeah, I know there's a few different ones for it. It's permanent HP drain, basically. Oof, that's rough. I know there's some fun stuff in the DMG that's like very dragon related. Like there's the 10 artifacts, the 10 orbs that are in the DMG that if you happen to have one, dragons hate you. But they have powers. They have power over dragons, and anyone who holds one can communicate with anyone else who holds another. But it's an open phone line between all 10 orb holders, and you probably don't know who all 10 of them are. So maybe you're having a conversation with one, but you never know who might be listening in without saying anything, just kind of lurking, spying on your conversations. So not the most safe form of communication. I think it's 10, maybe it's 12. I can't remember how many forms of dragons there are. By Solar. Yeah. Good hanging out with you guys, but I guess it's we still got J-Nod and Trident here, I think. So yeah. And probably someone else. I don't know. But yeah, we got but yeah, those 12. How many times dragons? Is it 12? Might be 12. But yeah, those I think, no, or is it 10? Because there's 120. I think there's 10 types of dragons and 12 ages. I think that's what it is. But yeah, there's the 10 orbs, and yeah, you don't know who controls those. And also all dragons hate you. And you can compel dragons to do things and stuff. There's some pretty powerful artifacts, but they've got some they're risky. Most artifacts are risky. One artifact, though, is one that there are multiple of, and there's actually a prestige class designed around it, which is interesting. And that's like, was it the Void Orb or something like that? Let me pull this up because I know there is one. It's a really weird interaction. It's like two different books that I need because the Artifact is in the DMG, but the Prestige class I think is in Complete Arcana. I could be wrong though. It might be Complete Mage. But yeah, there's some crazy artifacts. My favorite one, Deck of Many Things. I love the Deck of Many Things. It's such a fun one to mess with people. Vassals get platinum pieces equal to 100 times the Vassal of Bahamut's character level at 2nd, 5th, and 8th levels. Interesting. Okay, that I hear you on that. Let's see, it's 100 times to character level. That's not bad, but like, I don't know. I wouldn't exactly call that rich. I don't know if I'm not sure how worth it that is, to be honest. I have to think about it. Sphere of Annihilation. That's the one. There is a whole freaking prestige class around the Sphere of Annihilation, which is just crazy. Like, yeah, I'm trying to remember where this. Where this prestige class is, because it's a, like I say, it's a weird one. Like, it's all about freaking that prestige class control spheres, exactly. And like, if you happen to have a lot of spheres, which the class, is all about, like, seeking them out and trying to find them. Is it in? Yeah, I'm in the wrong book. Dang it! I think. Yeah, it's not in Arcane. It's got to be Mage. Dang, I got the wrong book. But yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, they control the spheres, and if you don't have any spheres of annihilation, which understandable if you wouldn't have those because they're freaking rare artifacts. Yeah. Entropus. I have no idea what that means, but okay. Entropes. Is that what you're? I'm not sure, but yeah, they're a fun one. They're a fun prestige class. Complete Arcane has some really fun stuff like Wild Mage. Oh, I've never played one of those. I've had one in a group, but they can be interesting. The Wild Mage, depending on how things are ruled, actually has some fun interactions with the Deck of Many Things, potentially. Because, what is it? Yeah, so they get Student of Chaos, which when a Wild Mage of 3rd level or higher uses a magic item that offers a randomly determined effect, such as a Bag of Tricks or a Rod of Wonder, she can roll twice and choose between the two results. A random roll is made only once to determine the nature, contents of a device, for example, a robe of useful items or artifacts. Wild Mage gains no special advantage, which that wouldn't the specialty wouldn't apply to the Deck of Many Things, but yeah, it can be interesting with the Deck of Many Things can actually be extremely good if you happen to have 3 levels of Wild Mage. Entrope is a 3.5 prestige class that grants the ability to control a sphere of annihilation as if using Talisman of the Sphere. Interesting. That's what it's called? The Entrope? Interesting. I thought it was called something else. But yeah, the Wild Mage and the Deck of Many Things can be very good because it makes the Deck of Many Things a lot less dangerous. Because now instead of 50-50 chance of something bad happening and 50% chance of something good happening, it's now a 75% chance of something good happening and a 25% chance of something bad happening. Because something bad happens only if you happen to draw 2 bad options, which 25% chance. more or less. It's not quite, but pretty close. Whereas, and on top of that, if you happen to get two bad things, oftentimes one of them might be really bad, but the other one's good. In which case, or not good, but like one of them's like really bad, and the other one's like a lot less bad. So it's like, okay, well, let's take the less bad option. So you have the really bad stuff happening a lot less frequently with if you have that. Assuming that you're able to do both. Going to jump into bed up at 5 a.m. All good, Jay Knott. Good having you. Yeah, we're going to keep rolling along for a little while. Maybe next time I do these, I should do them at an earlier hour. We'll see. Because this seemed to be late for a lot of people. Is what it, yeah. Which, makes sense. But I'm just a night owl, so it's harder for me. But I probably should try and do it earlier for my audience. But anyways, good night, man. Yeah, hopefully, maybe when I get 5,000 subs, we'll do these earlier. Because I am going to be doing more of these once I hit 5,000 subscribers. That's when I'm going to do my next bet. This is the 5th of 9, so I'm going to be doing these again all next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Monday as well. And I still got a while on this one. I'm not going anywhere for a decent while, but I will be doing even more of them in the future when I hit 5,000. So yeah, that's one more coming. That could be for a while, but we still got 4 more live streams after this one, and this one's a little more than halfway in, so got a ways to go. But let's see. There's some really cool artifacts that I was talking about, like you're talking about dragons, and that reminded me of, what is it, the dragon orbs? Let's see if I can find those. Deck of many things, Sphere of Annihilation, Philosopher's Stone, Hammer of Thunderbolts, Talisman of Zagi, Talisman of Ultimate Evil, Talisman of Pure Good, Staff of the Magi. Staff of the Magi is a fun one. Orb of Dragonkind. The Orbs of Dragonkind, that's it. They're a fun one. These fabled orbs were created eons ago. Can be used to communicate verbally and visually with the possessors of the orbs. Yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff here. You got your major and your minor ones, like the Staff of the Magi. I'm not gonna lie, Staff of the Magi is pretty nice one. Just has a ton of spells. I think it absorbs magic or something like. It's pretty it's a really nice one. There's so many good stuff. The Shadow Staff is also a really powerful one. The Moaning Diamond is also really crazy what it can do. Although it's really terrible for a rogue because it's just moaning constantly, and it really makes stealth hard. Because when you have this diamond that you're just carrying that's just constantly moaning and making all this noise, it's just like, bruh. Some of these are, there's some pretty cool ones. I don't know what else you guys want to talk about. I know most people went off to bed, which, I get. We still got a little while left on the stream, though. So that's a thing. Let's see. I'm thirsty as heck. Give me a sec. Try not to do that while I'm streaming, but man, I'm thirsty. I'm getting kind of dry mouthed. Wild Mage is one I've wanted to play for a while. It's just got some really cool stuff. It just makes it's just a standard arcane one, but it gives you it adds a level of randomness to your magic, and some of this stuff is really, really strong. Like Wild Strike, I believe, is just a really stupidly powerful ability. Let's see, gains the abilities. Wild Strike affects a single creature surrounding the creature or 2d6 rounds. Yes, but the target gains no saving. So, there's a 50% chance each time the effect casts a spell. Yeah, so you hit a spellcaster with Wild Strike. Now all of a sudden they got a 50% chance of instead of their spell going off, getting the effects of a Rod of Wonder, I think. Yeah, which is crazy. It could really mess with spellcasters bad, and they won't know whether it'll succeed or fail until like they've cast their spells. So it really messes with spellcasters. Let's see. Mage knows how to spontaneously convert her own spell into. Oh yeah, so they can convert their stuff into freaking rods of wonder if they want. They get all sorts of crazy stuff. Random deflector, it's a fun one. Just a crazy one. It's one of my favorite. I like. I don't know. I like chaos. One thing I'm thinking of doing, I haven't decided whether I will or not, but I've been considering for a while running a live stream over on Twitch where I play Baldur's Gate 3. Thinking about doing kind of a chaos run where basically the whole plan of it is to more or less, what was it? Basically, what I'm thinking of doing on Twitch is going on there and playing Baldur's Gate 3 and doing it so that like everything's random. So like every decision is random. Like, it's like, hey, I just talked to this guy. I have however many options. And it's like, all right, well, let's roll the die. I have 6 options. Let's roll this d6. Oh, it's 5. We pick option number 5. And we see how things play out with me picking randomly for literally every single dialogue option. And also for like when I'm building characters, whenever it's like a level up, roll randomly to see what I do. Just kind of an idea. Yeah. I'm also thinking of maybe doing one where I have like Twitch chat control everything. So like anytime there's like a dialogue option, or anytime I'm leveling up, I'll just like throw polls up, and dialogue might go kind of slow because every single interaction is going to be a poll that Twitch chat's going to have to vote on. So I don't know. That could be fun to see how that plays out. Yeah. Probably less chaotic than just rolling dice because, Twitch chat is not going to be as crazy as random dice rolls when just picking random options. Even like someone like Doug's Twitch chat isn't going to be as random as rolling dice because, they've got their whole hive minds where they're, people making actual choices, which isn't really random. So... Whereas, rolling dice, that's going to be pretty close to true random. It isn't actually random. It's predictable, but good enough if you're not trying to exploit it. Yeah. With me physically rolling it, if I'm not trying to, shake the dice particular ways, it's basically true random. If I use online dice programs, it's pretty much true random, although there's ways to predict it based off of various things. Everyone knows how to, RNG manipulation is a thing in all forms of, in just basically everything. Like, I've seen people over the top, over the top of the table manipulate their dice rolls, all right, so there's a 20, make sure it's face up, and then, if I just kind of, drop it, 11, that was decent. Or some people they will manipulate and they'll just be like, yeah, 17, woo, like, they will throw dice in ways where to try and like manipulate them to like get better results. They're not, doing like this. 5, oof, rough. I try and like be fair and do all that when I roll. I don't like manipulate because I actually enjoy the randomness of the game and find fudging dice rolls and manipulating dice kind of takes away from the fun of the game, personally. But I've seen people, manipulate their dice. I do not each their own, but I know a lot of DMs will manipulate dice on purpose or like fudge rolls to like, make the game more interesting. It's like, man, this party is getting steamrolled. Let's fudge my dice rolls in order to like help them survive. Or, man, the party is really steamrolling. Let's fudge my dice rolls to give them more of a challenge. I've seen DMs that do that. I know I've heard a lot of DMs do that. I personally don't. I let the dice do the talking. If the dice say that the party's having great luck and are absolutely going to steamroll, great. If the dice say the party's kind of being for a world of hurt, that's rough. That's rough. I might start like making the enemies back off a little more. Maybe it'll be like, maybe they'll give you a chance to escape or something. I don't know. I might fudge that if it becomes a real issue, but generally I try not to. I try and, let the players feel whatever consequences come of the bad luck that comes. Or also let them have the glory of the good luck when it happens. That's just me, though. Every DM is different. Every player is different. And, as long as everyone's having fun, then it's doing a good job. So, yeah. If anyone's still out there watching, feel free to chat. Like I say, this is for you guys. I'm just here responding to chat, hanging out. I know most people went to bed, so now I'm just rambling. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Joys of being a small streamer, but it is what it is. I'm not even really a streamer, more of a YouTuber, but you get what I'm saying. This is a stream. But yeah, it's just kind of, if you guys got anything you want to say, feel free. This is for you guys to hang out. Hanging out, talking, mostly D&D, as well as some other nerdy stuff, But yeah, so if you guys got anything you want to talk about, just let me know. What else? Let me think. What else is there out there? I guess we were talking about that answer. If you got a 600K if you got a 600,000 per item budget, what are the top 10 things you're getting on any character? Ooh, so top six, so 600K. What are basically my top 600? My top 10 items under 600K. That's a good question. I have to look that up because 600K is very specific, which makes sense. So let's see, what are some like must-have under 600? Geez, that's a lot per item. Dang, that includes so much stuff, like all the major wondrous. That is a huge amount now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, that is. I'm not even sure now. That makes just how. Okay, so not all the staffs are available. So no staff. No staff of power is available. That's 211. Up to 600K. Jeez. So 600 per item, because that is an insane amount in the Epic Max for. It's the Epic Max for Metropolis Cities. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm going to bust out the Epic for that because, man, I don't even know. 600K is so much. That's a huge amount. off the top of my head, like, plus 10 weapons and armor sound good, but there's probably something better, maybe. Let me find my epic book to try and figure this out. Epic. Where is my epic level handbook? Trying to find the book on the shelf, and when it's hidden amongst other books. Here it is. Found it. Let's see. What other stuff is there, man? That is such a broad question. But it's a good question. Really good question, actually. Item wording. Gee, 600K allows so much stuff. You can get like, geez, a plus 7 armor or shield. That's crazy. That's actually pretty dang good. There's so many good things. I'm going to bust out my other book too. Let me grab the Magic Item Compendium. 600K per item. Dang. With that, I'm grabbing a belt of battle / monk's belt and all of the tomes and manuals. Tomes and manuals, yeah, that's a good point. Are you talking per item, or are you just talking about total budget? Because that's a completely different question. Yeah, the tomes and manuals 100% are amazing. Plus 5 to everything is like really great. There's all sorts of other stuff. Like there's so many different things that you can get, which are like really good. Man. Power Vest, Archmagi, Mirror of Life Trap. Like there's so many things. Like, I don't know, Staff of Power seems pretty amazing, and I'm pretty sure that's well within budget. Yeah, 600K is also weird that they're saying that 600K is only getting a plus 7 armor or shield, because that's in the epic, because that is not accurate at all when it comes to I don't think, could I be wrong? Plus 1 bonus. Yeah, that is not accurate at all according to the Dungeon Master guide. Everything's like a tenth of the price that they're saying. Yeah. So that's an interesting, per item. Yeah. So cause that's weird. So weapons and armor, for some reason, are saying they're 10 times more in the epic book. Don't quite know what's up with that one, but let's see. Ring of Universal Energy Resistance greater. That sounds pretty dang amazing. Yeah. If I was running a wizard, probably a Ring of Wizardry Type 4. Yeah, man, I don't even know. There's so many good things. 600K is just an unreasonably high amount of money that it doesn't. It just allows basically anything. If I could find the rings. Like, trying to find these things is kind of a pain. Oh, wait. I just remembered it says the page because I'm an idiot. Ring of Spell Storing. Ring of Universal Energy Resistance greater. 128. All right, cool. If I was running, it was probably a Wizardy Type 4. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Man, I haven't played. Like the amount of money here is just so high. It's kind of insane. Ring of Universal Energy Resistance. Yeah, well within that. Major's still 180k. Functions as a ring of for all types of energy. Yeah, so 30 resistance to all types of energy, which is insane. Yeah, so ring of universal energy resistance, 100%. I'd also go with probably like there's a lot of really good. I would be making like custom stuff and stacking things because 600k is insane. Like that amount, like I'd be like, all right, well, I've got a ring that's got this and this and this and this. Like I'd be putting rings with like 3 different things on them and have 2 of them. Like, yeah, like so many of these things are just really good. Ring of Wizardry, probably an amazing one would be my guess. What am I looking up? There's just too much. That is such an insane budget. Yeah, Wizardry 4, that's only 100k. Which I say only 100k, but like your limit of 600 is just so insanely high. Let's see, Wizardry. I don't know. Okay, so you get double 4th level spells. Okay. Yeah, that is insane. Getting double your 4th level spells. Yeah. There's probably Rings of Wizardry 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 as well. I'm sure that's in Epic. And yeah, the Epic book is weird in terms of cost. You probably have to like work things to match because things are so off. Let's see. How much is Wizardry 1? 20k to 40k to 70k to 100k. Interesting. So it goes 20, 40, 70, 100. Weird, which would make me think the next ones would be what, 140, 180 for 5 and 6. 7 and 8 would go up like 230, 280, and then 9th level ones would be what? Probably what, 340? Yeah, that sounds about right. Which is still like well within that budget of 600. Or at least that's how I would do it following that. I don't know what that says in the Epic book, but the Epic book is 3.0, and it really doesn't follow with a lot of the other stuff, which makes me think, the more I look at it, it makes me think, it's probably a little off. I don't know, 250 for Wizardry 5. Or Epic Wizardry 5, 6. I don't know why you would stick with that one. If you're a wizard and under 600k, you might as well go with an Epic Wizardry 7 for 490k. Like, why would you go with Type 4? Like, when you can get Type 7. That's just better. And honestly, if you really wanted to do it, you get your one that does all the types, and it just, of course, costs way more. But yeah, you just make your ring of wizardry all, and it would cost an insane amount of money, but very much something that can be done, and there are like very much rules for doing it. Yeah, so let's see what would it cost for that? Epic protection, sure, why not? Oh wait, no, that's too much. We'll see if it. I don't know if it really is, but maximized. I'm not sure how that changes things, but let's see if you wanted to do it on all of them. Let's see, it'd be what, 8, 10 plus, so that's 9th, and then 640. Well, actually, let's do it this way. This is going to be easier. All right, so we'll start with 1 ring of wizardry. Let's just see how much it would be for all 20 plus 40 plus. So basically, I'm adding 20 for the ring of wizardry 1, 40 for the wizardry 2. Wizardry 3 is 70. And then 100 for 4. So I'm just adding them all together. And then I'm going to multiply by 1.5 towards the end. 250 for 5, 360 for 6. Okay, they changed the way that's done, so I'm wondering about that. 490. I see what they're doing for 7, 640, which I'm really questioning their method for doing that. An 810. Oh wait, no, we keep the 810 out for the 9 for now, because that one doesn't get multiplied by 1.5. So without the 9, we're looking at 2.9 million. Yeah, that's fun. And then the 9, 810 plus 810. So 3,765,000 is how much it comes out to. Shivering Touch Maximize does 18 dex damage. Yeah, that is nasty. Shivering Touch is a nasty one, but yeah, that's how much it ends up. 3765. I just did math. Woo. Just because I was curious how much that would cost, which is it's a lot of money. Although I do think that the pricing mechanics on the Epic are not the most accurate with 3.5 rules. I think they probably need to be adjusted. So yeah, that's just kind of where I'm thinking on that, because a lot of the stuff doesn't really match up. Like when I was doing those rings of wizardry just now, basically for the Epic versions of all of them, it was the level squared times 10,000 is how much they all cost. So 810,000. So 81 10,000s or 810,000 for the 9. Whereas with the non-Epic ones, so the 1 through 4, it wasn't following that at all. It was 20,000 for the 1, which by that logic, it should have only been 10. And then for the 4, or for the 2, which should be 40, that one matched up. But then the 3 was 70, which by that logic should be 90. And the 4 is 100, which by this logic should be 160. So it's not following the same pricing path, which it makes me think there's a disconnect there, But you're right. Shivering Touch does absolutely do 18 dex damage, which is a huge amount, which will cause most things to become statues. Yeah, that's not. It doesn't actually petrify you, but it effectively petrifies you if your dex drops to 0. Because you just can't move. You can still stand, and you're just frozen in place if you have 0 dex. That's how that particular one works. Each stat works a little differently depending on what happens when you drop to 0. I forget the mental ones. Let me grab the book on that, because that's actually what is it? Rules Compendium. Interestingly enough, oh, here it is. But yeah, Rules Compendium actually has rules for what happens when your set destroys most dragons. Yes, almost all dragons. You only need 10 in order to mess with dragons. They're pretty bad when it comes to that. Dragons pretty much all have 10 decks. I will say that I wouldn't allow you to do that for very long if you were going up against dragons. I'd let you get away with it once or twice, and then I would have Tiamat and or Bahamut catch wind of what you're doing and take measures to stop you. So, yeah, like, having spells cast on all the dragons to, make that particular spell like backfire, on the caster or something like that. Various different things. I'm just trying to figure out the 0 ability score, because there's like a whole thing for it. There's a whole section of it on here. Size, saving throws, interlude, trying simulations, ready, poison, overruns of objects on there. Non-abilities, I think is... Yeah, I think that's what it is non-abilities on 105. There's a whole thing about what happens when you reach various stuff. Yeah. So strength. Any creature that can physically manipulate objects has a score of at least 1. A creature that has no strength can't exert force, usually because it has no physical body or because it doesn't move. The creature automatically fails strength checks. If the creature can attack, it applies... Oh, that's different. Dang, okay. These are just non-abilities. That is different. Okay, let me... So that's just things that naturally don't have abilities. Where are the ones where they just... Ability drain? Ability checks, ability damage. I'm just trying to find, because I know I've seen it, and it's kind of cool. Ability score loss. Okay, losing all points. Here it is. Very small section. So 0 strength means the creature can't move at all. It lies helpless on the ground. So shared vitality shuts it down. Also being undead. Yeah, that's true. There's also like specific counters that you can do to just be like, hey, I'm casting. Basically, there's ways to just make someone immune to a very specific spell. It's not too hard to do. But if you hit your strength score hits 0, you fall to the ground and can't move. Dexterity, you can't move. You stand motionless, rigid, and held it. So if your dex drops to 0, you basically freeze in place and are stuck there, unable to move. You may topple over as well, depending on how well balanced you are. Constitution, you die. That one's pretty basic. The next ones are the more terrifying ones. Intelligence, you can't think and is unconscious in a coma-like stupor. That one's not terrible. You just kind of go brain dead. Not the worst thing in the world. Wisdom means the creature is lapsed into a deep sleep filled with nightmares. So if your wisdom drops to 0, you fall into a deep sleep filled with nightmares. So you're just probably on the ground sleeping, and you are, you're not having a good time. You're probably shaking and tossing and turning, and it's not a good time for you. Charisma means lapse into a catatonic coma-like stupor. Helpless. So that one's interesting because you just kind of lose your ability to distinguish between yourself and others, and everything just kind of starts blending together. You're helpless in like almost all of them. The only stat that you don't end up helpless after is Constitution if it gets strained to 0, because in that case you end up dead, which is a little bit more serious than helpless. So the only stats that you can't be coup de grace in when you're, I guess you still could be because you're dead. But typically you're not going to get coup de grace while dead because you're dead. You would at least get a con save with all the other ones, or not con save, but fortitude save with the other ones to see if like you survive the coup de grace. Whereas if you're dead, you're still just dead. Like, I don't think coup de grace is going to do anything to a corpse. Could make it harder to revive depending on how you're doing it. Like, you cut their head off and decapitate the corpse. That should make it harder to revive them. They need a, raise dead is no longer going to do the trick. You would need some better spells than that. So that's a thing. But or at the very least, you'd probably have to use like a make whole to reattach the head to the body, or something before reviving them. But that's a whole thing. But then again, raised dead, revivified, they not the strongest of magic. Like if you use a resurrection or a true res, then actually resurrection would be easier if you cut their head off, because now there's 2 different pieces of their body that you could use to try and revive them. You could use the body or the head. I don't know, but there's some crazy stuff with it. I just find the idea of different things happening when your strength, like when your scores are dropped to 0. It's just interesting to think about, like, the differences between what they would look like. Strength dropping to 0, they're just like, they flop completely limp on the floor and are, they're basically their body turns to jelly. Like, their bones are still there and all that, but like, they are just completely limp. There's no stiffness in their body whatsoever. Whereas with Dex, it's the opposite. Their body is just like super, super stiff and just completely unable to move because they are so stiff. It's like almost statue-like. Con, you're just dead. You're just dead with Con dropping to 0. Inch, you're brain dead. You're basically just a vegetable. You're just like, like you can't do anything. Wisdom, you're just like, you're just like distraught. Like you're probably tossing and turning, and like you're just in this constant state of nightmare that can't be, this unending nightmare. And then charisma, that one I'm not entirely sure how that would look, because you're in a stupor, but like I'm not sure how different it would be from the intelligence one. I don't know. I just find it interesting. I don't know. Let's see what else. I don't know what my 10 would be. That amount is just so high. Obviously, I would get like Cloak of Resistance. That's like a no-brainer. Ring of Protection, obviously. What else would I pretty much always get? Cloak of Resistance, Ring of Protection. What are just some other like items that are just like go-tos? Yeah, the wizardry ones can be great if you're a caster. Yeah, getting like a good armor is generally good. So you want to get like a good armor of some kind. You want to grab all the tomes. You'll generally want to grab like one of those like +6 items or whatever. Monk's belt can be good depending on what class you are. Like there's a number of really good items out there. And when I say the like, so like the like a headband of intellect, belt of giant strength, stuff like that. You'd want to get like you'd want to get at least nice +6 or a big number for whatever your main stat is, and then maybe get some stuff that are smaller for your second and tertiary stats. Maybe like at high level, you might even want to go for all of your stats, at least get a +2 to all of them. If you're going to get the belt of giant strength and a headband of intellect, you might as well get the belt of magnificence. Fair enough. I'm not super familiar with the belt of magnificence, but makes sense. Basically you can combine multiple items like the belt of giant strength and headband of intellect. You can just throw them all onto one item too if you want. Like that's very much a thing that can be done in the Magic Item Compendium. You can also just throw them onto any old other belt, basically free of charge. Like you still have to pay for the cost, but there's no extra charge. +6 enhancement bonus for all stats. Gotcha. Ooh, interesting. I'm not familiar with that one, but that as an actual item, but that does sound pretty dang nice. Where is this belt of magnificence at? So I'm not familiar with it, but it's not a bad one, potentially. I don't know if I'd actually go for it necessarily, just because you're not normally wanting, like you're not normally needing it. Miniatures. I don't have that book, unfortunately. That is not in my list of books that I own. Let me look it up then. Belt of Magnificence. Apparently it's an epic item. Or is it? First items, belt. Let's see if I can find it. Belt of Magnificence. Okay, here we go. This metal belt projects power and authority. This belt adds a +2, +4, +6 enhancements bonus to wear strength, dex, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma scores. Okay. So it does for all of them. And you're right, it is miniatures. Okay. 200K for +6. That's not bad. Interesting. I don't know if I'd go for it because I don't know if I'd want to be adding the bonus to everything. Just because it's like not necessarily worth the money to be spending. Like it can get really expensive. Generally, I like to try and like whatever my primary stat is, that one I'm going to want to be putting like a high bonus to, 6 or maybe 8 or 10 with epic items as I go later into the game. And then, maybe for my secondary stat, I'll have that like 2 less. And then my tertiary, like maybe 2 less than that. And then like, as the stats become less important to me, maybe I'll put an item. So like, if I'm like level like 25 or something, as a big bad barbarian, I might grab a headband of intellect +2, maybe. Just because, like, who cares? I'm a freaking barbarian. Sorry, I'm really thirsty. Whew. Anywho, of course, it's better to be sad than mad. 100%. I generally try and make sad characters. The only type of character I'd ever consider a belt of magnificence for, so I was like making a monk, because monks are extremely mad, and that's one of many of their problems. Monks. The only thing they really don't need is charisma. That's like the one stat that you can freely dump on the monk. Intelligence is also a fairly big dump stat for the monk. They're an expert class, so having a high int is useful because they use a lot of skills. But aside from that, they don't need intelligence, and they need all their other stats. Like Dex is really important to the monk. Wisdom is super important for the monk. Strength is really important for the monk for doing like their damage and stuff. Otherwise, they hit like a weak noodle. Like you can make them with low strength, but it takes a little while to actually make that viable because you need a decent number of feats. And even then, it's hard to fully get rid of the strength impact. And then Constitution you need because you pretty much always need Constitution, especially on something like a monk where you're going to be in the thick of combat pretty much all the time. Like monks are, they're frontline fighters, very, very much so. They're kind of all about getting in and attacking. Now, oftentimes they're not going after the tanks. They'll use they're so fast that they can. They run around the tank and attack the squishy mages in the back. At least that's what they're supposed to be doing. But at the same time, they're still going to need a decent amount of health because those mages and those archers and stuff in the back, they do still do a decent amount of damage. And they do a lot of damage. They're not as effective in close combat, but still. The big scary tanks are they're decently likely to turn around and come mow you down when they see you run past them and go after their squishy friends. So monks definitely need that Constitution to survive. Plus they need Dex and Wisdom for AC. Wisdom's also important for their Stunning Fist and a number of their abilities. Dex is super useful for a lot of things for monks. Like monks are they're so mad. They're so multi-ability dependent, and that's such a huge problem for them. Which is why I generally try and make characters not too mad. If I roll pretty good, or if I have a few really high stats, I might make them a little multi-ability dependent, but even then, I try and keep it somewhat down. The character I'm playing right now in the game I was playing yesterday, he's a little bit multi-ability dependent, but not that multi-ability dependent. He's primarily focused on intelligence as a wizard, but he's also a cleric with wisdom and has pretty decent charisma as well. He's going to be getting into casting on those others as well, but at the same time, that's 3, and he's not really dependent on strength, dex, or con at all. He's actually extremely squishy and not very good in physical combat. It's not amazing in combat in general, but it's not all about combat. Personally, I find avoiding combat to be just as entertaining a lot of the time, finding ways of dealing with things outside of combat. Not everything has to be a fight. And I prefer games that where everything isn't a fight. Yeah, I like having some fights in there, but having some puzzles, some social interactions, solving mysteries and all that fun stuff. Those are fun too. And I don't know, I like characters like that. So personal preference, I guess. But yeah, I like my wizards. Yeah, I like my casters for those reasons. And the more crunchy games, those ones can be better for playing like my barbarians. Although they are fun in social situations, they're terrible at them. But honestly, it can be quite fun watching my barbarian just like go around, stomping around like an idiot and just kind of ticking people off. Personally, I find that can be quite entertaining to see that happen. So yeah, I don't know. Just kind of depends on the game and the character and all that fun stuff. But yeah, I like. I don't know. I like the barbarians. They're fun to play outside of combat. Um, it's fun seeing them struggle. Like when I'm playing a barb, and they're struggling a little bit to keep up and whatnot. So I don't know. Just kind of it's kind of a thing. Um, yeah, I just watching my barb struggle and be like, oh yeah, they're trying to go through the town, but they're so dumb and they're such an a-hole that they're just struggling with every social interaction. And I don't know. I just find it funny to have characters that struggle in those situations. And then I also find it fun to have characters that are really good in that, like the character I'm playing now. He's got great charisma. He's got a great diplomacy, great sense motive. He's got like really high knowledge checks, especially for local arcana and religion, which tend to come up a lot, at least in this game. And yeah, you got to go. It's way too late for you. All good. Peace. I debate your next short. I debate your next short. You post. I'm assuming a wait, but yeah, that's cool. I ain't gonna be on here much longer, anyways. Wow, we're actually almost done at this point. I got another 15 minutes or so, a little more. Yeah, but have a good one, Trident. Yeah, Trident 123ism. Yeah, interesting name. Actually, kind of curious where that comes from, but yeah. Have a good one, and I'll see you Monday, hopefully, because that's when I'm going to be streaming next. Yeah. Let's see. But yeah, freaking 600,000. That's a crazy amount. Like, if you had said it like 100,000 or 200,000, that'd be way more realistic. Because those are numbers that, gives me some real limits to work with. But yeah, the tome's always great, and you want to stick with the fives. It's honestly best to wait until you get the +5 tomes, and not to buy the 4s and the 3s and the 2s and the 1s, because they don't stack. And yeah, I wouldn't, if you find them, the lower ones, I would use them, but I would give them to people who don't need them as much. And like have the people who actually want the abilities, have them, have them wait and get the better ones, like when you buy them, or if you find a +5. But yeah, if you find the Tome of Understanding, which I think is, I can't remember. If you find the tome that gives intelligence, for instance, don't give that to the barbarian or something if it's +1. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you can maybe get some use out of it. Don't give it to the wizard, because he's probably, it'll be more useful than them in the short term, but the wizard's probably going to at some point want the +5, and when they get that, that +1 will just be wasted at that point. That'll just be completely overwritten by the 5. So there's really no reason to do that, for at least no long-term reason. So you want to go, you want to, especially if you're getting the +1s and the +2s, you often want to give them to the person who has the least use for them, because that way they're not likely to be getting, they're not likely to be wanting to get a new one anytime soon. And since they're not going to be grabbing a new one, a better one, well, then that's good, because they'll have that bonus for a long time, which maybe it doesn't do a whole lot for them, but it'll do something, and it'll stick around on the party for a long time. But I wouldn't buy them. Either that or you just sell it. Also, there's other methods of it. You can use Wish and Miracle to get those tomes as well, like the tomes in the manuals. Instead of reading one of those, what you can do is you can chain cast Wish and Miracle to get the same effect. Well, chain cast if you want the bigger numbers. If you just want a +1, then you don't need to worry about it. But if you want like if you wanted a +5 permanent bonus to intelligence, right? You could just have people people in the party, or pay people to just chain cast Wish and Miracle, either one. Probably mix it up too, just over and over, 5 times. And by casting that 5 times back to back to back to back, you get the +5 bonus. So that is a way to do it. That's effectively how the books are made. Is someone just chain casts it into a book, and then you just read it later and get the buff. So yeah. So the tomes and the manuals, not 100% necessary, but still really good items. And you're gonna either want to get the +5s for the stats you actually care about. Probably all the stats you care about, so your primary, your secondary, your tertiary. If you have a 4th stat that you care about, which you may or may not. If you have a 5th or 6th you care about, which you probably don't, most characters can afford to dump at least 2 stats, or have 2 stats that they don't really use much outside of just like occasionally. Most characters only have like 3 to 4 stats that they use any real amount of. Some it's only 1 or 2. Really depends on the character, and how how sad versus mad you make them. Yeah, but you're definitely going to want to put +5s on a decent number of stats. Pretty much always at least 2, because con is pretty much always going to be worth it, and there isn't really any character I can think of that's actually con based in 3.5. So yeah, not really. I guess like the Dwarven Defender, kind of, but even then, they're still pretty heavy in strength. So you're pretty much always going to have at least like 2 stats you care about to some extent. So yeah, you're definitely going to want to buff at least a couple of them. Yeah, and you're usually going to have at least 1 or 2 that's free. Like, my character that I'm playing right now, all his mental stats he cares about a lot. Physical ones, not so much. Although con a little more, so since that is his health, which isn't amazing. He's kind of got a little bit of a weak. He's pretty weak and frail. His dex is also not great, so he's very, very squishy. But he is a Mystic the Urge, and he has a large number of spells he can cast. He's very useful. He's even got some like roguish tendencies to him as well. He's he's a little bit of the party leader, because he's got like the highest charisma of anybody in the group. I think he might even have more charisma than the bard, which is funny. Our bard doesn't show up half the time too, so that's a thing. But yeah, fun game. Working on getting another game. Also planning on making that one's actually going to be a solid charisma build, not like this guy who's mostly intelligence, just has charisma as a tertiary stat and is still higher than most of the other players. Um, yeah, that guy turned out pretty cool. Um, yeah, uh, he has his downsides though. He's actually not much in combat at all. He's got like 3 offensive spells, which is not much. And I guess he has some other stuff that can be useful, like he has Thunderlance, which does make him decent at it does make him offensively kind of decent. So he's got some advantages, but like he's not the greatest in a fight, but he's pretty good at figuring stuff out. He's often got a spell for the job to do whatever it is that needs to be done. Um, like, yeah, he's very good at stuff. He's probably going to be going lore master once he hits 17th level. That'll be fun. And he's going to learn all sorts of different castings. I don't know. I enjoy different play styles, and it's fun making unique builds. Like there's another game I'm thinking of getting into. It's a nice discussion on it in my Discord. But basically, yeah, it's going to be a fun little game, and I'm hoping to kick some butt, take some names, be like the charismatic leader of the group, and it might end up being an evil party from what I'm hearing. So that'll be interesting. I haven't fully decided what my build is yet, but I got a few different ideas. Got another 9 minutes or so. Working on whatchamajigger. Still working on getting this feats out, short feats out. So like my shorts on feats, pretty regularly on the channel. Probably drop one, probably in a couple hours, and then maybe sometime this weekend I'll get that video on the Spy Master finished. We'll see. Depends on a lot of stuff. That is something that I have been working on, and it is getting pretty close to finished. Just got a couple more little things I need to do with it, and then that'll be dropping. At some point, my video on teaching my girlfriend how to play, although ex-girlfriend at this point, it's been a while. The video was shot so long ago. Back in my last apartment too, so nice change of scenery and everything. It's just taking so long to edit that it's life has changed since then. That'll be out at some point. Gonna try and get some work on that here and there. Catching up on comments, everything. Just trying to work more on the channel. At some point, I might like when I finish these, I'm probably gonna try and switch over to streaming on Twitch for a little while. There's a decent chance I'll do that with some Baldur's Gate 3 content. Probably, I haven't fully decided what I'm going to do, but it's a decent chance I'll be doing that, 3 days a week. Once I'm done with these 9 for hitting 2,500 subscribers, which again, thank you guys. Like I said it so many times, I forget half the time, but like I could not have done it without you guys. Like, and we're already making progress towards the next goal of 5,000. I mean, we got a long ways to go still, but I'm not at 2.5K subscribers anymore. I'm now at like 2.52 K, I think, something like that. So it's gone up a little bit, not like a crazy amount, but it has gone up. Last I checked, it was 2.52. It might even be up to 2.53 by now. Who knows? I can find out fairly soon. It's a little hard to check while live streaming, but that's not that hard, actually. Let me pull it up real quick because that is actually like somewhat important stuff. Let's see, 2.52. Not bad. Yeah, and yeah, I couldn't do that without you. You guys, like, I'm growing even as I'm making these, which not surprising that making these live streams actually does help me grow a little bit. But this is actually a thank you. Like, I do it as a way to to like give back to the community. And I don't know. I have a feeling if I tried doing this all the time, uh, people would get bored real quick, which is part of why I don't do it always. And I just kind of do it when I hit a milestone for a little while. Because I don't know. I don't know if I have the enough of a community built up to justify doing it more frequently, which is a big part of why I don't. Because streaming when there's not anyone in chat kind of sucks, and it's kind of hard. I've done it. I'm better at it than some people, but like, I don't know. I'd much rather have people here. Like, plus it's better for you guys too. I'm sure you'd much rather be here than watch after the fact. So yeah, just that's why I only do them when I hit bigger milestones. And every milestone I do more live streams and for longer, partially because there's more people, which means the live stream, like the chat's going to be less dead every time. So yeah, kind of makes sense. At some point, assuming I keep growing, like each milestone is going to be a little bigger. So each milestone I'll have more people, and yeah, like I'm like twice as big every new milestone, more or less. That's kind of how I set it up, at least in terms of what I consider milestones. Like, yeah, I consider a new milestone basically every time I double in size. Yeah, let's see. Got a couple minutes left, not too much more. Like I said, working on that Spy Master, working on going through Complete Warrior for more shorts of all the feats. So I'm starting to catch up more and more. Still, behind on feats. I'm way farther on the class races and prestige classes, just because I got a major head start. Shorts weren't a thing until a few years ago. So, well, quite a few years ago at this point, but still, for half of this channel's life, they weren't a thing. So, yeah, the non-shorts got a pretty nice little boost, and yeah, that's a thing. So, yeah, at some point I'll probably try and redo my try and do like remakes of the player's handbook stuff. So, and maybe the DMG stuff as well. So like, fighter, barbarian, paladin, sorcerer, wizard. Those are fairly popular videos, but they are so old and like so outdated. Yeah, and the quality is not the greatest. So I have been planning to redo them for a while. Main reason why I haven't is I'm not sure if I've hit the quality that I'd like to on my videos yet. So I kind of want to make sure that when I do like remake them, that they come like they're remade good, so I don't have to remake them, a third time. So that's part of why I've waited. But I don't know. At this point, I think I probably waited long enough, and that like, if I do remake them later, like the quality's gone up quite a bit since then, and it'd probably be a while before I hit major quality improvements. So I don't know. I figure I'll just remake at least the core 11 classes and at least remake those videos. I don't know. That's a thought, at least. Probably something I'll do. Because yeah, those videos are really dated. Might remake some other stuff at some point. Just kind of depends. Yeah, that sounds like something I'll probably work on. But again, yeah, we only got like a minute left. So thank you to everyone who showed up. I know most of you guys have gone to bed, but thank you, Trident, for hanging out. Thank you, J-Knot, for hanging out. Thank you, Sven, for hanging out. Thank you, Solar, for hanging out. Let's see, who else was here? Is that everybody? Might be. Like everyone I just named has gone to bed. I think everybody that was in chat, that is everybody, and everybody has gone to bed, but at least it was been in chat. Some of you guys might still be like lurking and listening, but like not at your computer anymore, or like not like able to type anymore, just kind of listening. I think a few of you said you were doing that, which I appreciate. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out, for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing, for joining the Discord, for sharing all the things that you guys have done, which I know a number of you have, and that helps a lot. So I really appreciate that. That really does like help me and help the channel grow. So yeah, but anyway, and I will be back Monday, same time, same place, probably. I don't see why it wouldn't be. But yeah, as always, I'm Mitch. I'll be seeing you.